More updates on the ImAllexx's story. If you didn't see yesterday, he got exposed by his ex-girlfriend Alice. She came out with a whole bunch of allegations against him. I covered it in a video on my channel yesterday. The link is in the description if you're not caught up. But for those of you who are, ImAllexx's previous associates are now disavowing and distancing themselves from him, including Memeulous, iNabber, Jake Baz, and more. They all put out subsequent Instagram stories on their pages, and I'm just going to read each one of them for you guys. But first, we have an amazing tweet from Slazo, who was the guy ImAllexx's falsely accused many years ago and got called out for it. And he just tweeted out, "Good morning," with this gif of speed. He came back from like a 7-month hiatus just to tweet this. Fucking ImAllexx's over, but let's continue to the responses. First, we have iNabber, who put out a statement where he says, "Should say, yeah, I know about the situation and hope you all send nothing but support to Alice. Genuinely some of the most horrific shit I've ever read. Cannot explain how brave it is to come out and speak about this stuff, especially considering how long it seemed to have been going on. Really trying to not come in here with the eyes and make anything about me, as this is about Alice, and she deserves all the support possible." But yeah, I should just say, of course, I didn't know about this until recently. I wasn't even aware the two had fully broken up until April. That's how in the dark I was on this. He continues, "I have very much been in the dark on all of this until recently, which makes it feel worse. The level of what was said in the document about him is just indescribable, just absolutely horrific. The situation makes me feel genuinely ill, but also angry. But I would prefer to keep those personal thoughts private for now, as this is about Alice, not me." And then he continues saying, "For fuck's sake, also aware that I misspelled document in that last post, but yeah, my head is naturally spinning a bit with this. I don't really think words can describe how I'm feeling about what I read in that doc. So I will say, please just be kind to Alice, just send your support, and be kind to her. This is so fucked up, and I wish nothing but the best for her. I honestly feel like I should, but also I want to say more, but I genuinely don't know what to write. I have like a million thoughts. I know this seems like a very unprofessional way to respond to this too, as if more feels like I'm venting about it, but I'm not going to give some scripted PR document. This is one of the most fucked up situations I have ever seen. But for now, as I don't want to take away from the actual story in any way, I will say support Alice, do not be intrusive and send her a million questions. I doubt she needs that shit right now. Sorry if this has been rambly. This is a painful situation." So that's what iNabber had to say about it. And then we have an update from Jake Baz, who also posted on his Instagram story where he @s Alice and says, "Hi all, I've seen this situation. Please support Alice and her post as it's absolutely vile and disgusting. The videos alone, it's genuinely horrifying. As iNabber has said, we were left in the dark around this relationship and lied to, only finding out they'd broken up 5 months later. Alice's story is one of the worst things I've seen for manipulation and disgusting consistent actions. I hope Alice has time and space to heal from this. Give her time. I am hurt by this. Please support victims, support Alice's bravery to come out with her story. She really needs it." And we also have a response from Memeulous here, who also posted on his Instagram story. He says, "I'm aware of the Alex situation. I would usually wait until both parties have said their side publicly before speaking about it, but I think the evidence here is overwhelming. I spent this morning reading what Alice has written and going over the evidence she's provided, and no one should have to go through what she has. It's awful and disturbing and has seriously shocked me. I'm still processing what's happened. This is one of the worst situations I've ever seen in my life, and I hope Alice is okay. It took a lot of courage to speak about this." And so obviously it's interesting to see all of them come out in support of Alice in this situation. But I am very curious to hear more whenever they do speak on it, about how they were left in the dark, kind of what that looked like, because it can help kind of build up the story around Alex being maybe a manipulator to more than just his girlfriend. If they didn't even know that they were broken up until a couple months ago, and they were left in the dark for months at a time, was Alex just lying to them? Would they ask about her and he would give fake responses? Did they just never talk about their relationship? Obviously, I'm just completely speculating here, but I am curious to hear from what they have to say about how this all went down. Some people are speculating that they knew all along. I don't really get that impression, but it's not like it's impossible. And also, to be completely fair, even if they knew some parts of it, they may not have known the entire story. Maybe they just knew that they got in a fight. Alex could have just portrayed it as it was just a normal fight like as couples do. Or maybe it just got slightly out of hand, but nothing crazy. And that's all that they really knew. But But you have to keep in mind that these guys have been around Alex for years. They saw what he was like back when he did to Slazo. And so you have to wonder how it has completely flown under the radar entirely for years at a time now. But that's why I'm curious to see what they have to say, because maybe it would show that he is even more of a manipulator than what we only have with just the Alice situation. There's also this thread of text messages that I forgot to show in my last video, so I apologize for that, but this is a bunch of messages that he allegedly sent to her after they broke up, and it goes on for about a minute straight, where he just constantly nags her about his feelings, just continuously over and over again throughout the night. Alex says, "Please unblock me. I'm crying so much. This is awful. Can I say goodbye? You mean so much to me. I have to say goodbye. I can't imagine not saying goodbye. I didn't when you left because I thought we'd fix it, and now I won't even have a chance. I did it as a voice note. If we can't even call, fuck, please anything. If you could see me, you know I'm not fucking around. I'm not lying, I'm just broken. Alice, please don't end it like this. Hey, I sent you a message on Facebook. You haven't opened them. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but I don't want to have to bump you on other socials, etc." Then he says, "Facebook, hello, can you see this? If so, please reply. Unblock me on Facebook and let's talk about yesterday properly. I won't call you or anything. I can send voice notes if that's what you need." And I'm just going to take a quick pause to show you this is March 24th at 9 a.m. And these initial messages are March 9th. So it's not impossible that there's other contexts are missing. It seems like they may have talked on Facebook outside of this. I don't know for sure. I'm obviously just speculating. But this does seem to be some kind of post-breakup conversation that they continually have for what seems to be weeks at a time. That's just a takeaway I get by assuming that they may have spoken on Facebook. If not, then this is just him single-handedly just messaging her over and over and over again for weeks, which is also entirely possible. Regardless, it's extremely desperate and beggy, and she's obviously trying to break up, and this is just manipulation at best. I'm trying to make this work. I will compromise if I have to. Please don't make me feel stupid for sending these. Well, it's a little late for that, buddy. Because it really is the last time. I can't do this after today. I never wanted to be the ex who sends loads of messages, but you left without having a proper conversation with me. So I just feel so unfinished. I don't know how you can do the no contact thing, or why we haven't called. I can't get my head around it at all. You're not going to open these, and I'm tired of waiting around for months. I'm really tired. These are the last messages I'll send, so I'll try to put everything out there. I'd rather do this as a voice note, so I'll send it on Instagram, to the Beat account. It's like my only option now for closure. Actually, no, I can't believe I'm fucking doing this. There's nothing I can say or do. I reread our messages, me asking how you're doing. You didn't care that I was trying. The last 3 months have been so weird. I wish you had broken up with me to my face and spoke to me, and it was done clean. I hate reading our messages of me begging for you to just acknowledge me, and then claim I don't try. It's been torture. So after everything now, he's trying to flip the script on her and say that it was actually her who was neglecting him, because he couldn't control the breakup in exactly the way that he wanted it to go, which is very interesting to see. It's been torture and I need it to end. Even now, I'm hoping you'll open this and go, let's talk. We can at least end on better terms, but it's never happening. The end. I reread the DMs and you said I'm not all there because I still message you, so I won't anymore. I thought you wanted me to tonight. Then he continues to message her later in the day saying check Insta DMs. Then 2 days later says check DMs please. Then a day later says, why are you ignoring me? Then 20 minutes later just sends her question marks, and another 45 minutes later just spams her with DMs over and over again. So yeah, once again, I'll repeat this point I said in my first video, the long one that I mentioned at the beginning. I don't really think there's anything ImAllexx can do to completely redeem himself in this situation. The only possible out I could see him putting out there is making the claim that it was mutually abusive, and that there's messages that Alice hasn't shown where she is also being toxic or abusive towards him, and maybe she manipulated this situation to make only Alex look bad when she also was abusive towards him herself. But in that case, it doesn't absolve Alex's behavior at all, to be completely clear, but it would just give it a different context where it is a mutually abusive relationship where both parties were bad. But I'm not putting that accusation out there. I'm just saying that's really the only angle I can see Alex trying to take this, and just putting it out there to kind of get ahead of that to see, I think that is how he's going to handle this. Personally, my opinion, based on what I've seen in the document and that very first message exchange where she's talking about that she wants to call and hang out after work, you can see a very normal and small argument just devolve into just deranged vitriol coming from Alex's side. Something small like maybe they're not giving each other enough attention that day, or either of them aren't being very clear about communicating communicating what they want or if they want to hang out or not. These are normal things that happen in relationships. This can normally cause tension, maybe even normally cause just some kind of little fight or someone being upset. But Alex just escalates it to a point that's absolutely absurd and totally unnecessary. And given that she said this was early on in the relationship, I don't personally believe it's going to be some kind of mutually abusive thing. Obviously, Alex is still going to put out a response to this. There's no way he's just going to ignore this. So I still am going to cover what he says regardless. But yeah, based on what I've seen, I'm pretty comfortable in saying that he is not going to be able to redeem himself of at least being one party that is abusive in this relationship. And that's kind of what Alice's document has painted for me personally. But anyway, that's all the updates I have for you guys right now. That's all I really got to say about this. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.